Hey everyone, it's Mariana, and today, since there really isn't anything that exciting happening at the movie theaters at the moment, I'm going to be talking about a film from a few years ago called I Saw the Devil, which you can currently watch on Netflix. This is a South Korean thriller/horror film that revolves around revenge. I'm not going to tell you too much about the plot because I do think it's best to go into this film knowing as little as possible, but basically, we have this brutal serial killer who happens to murder the fiance of a Secret Service agent, and after that, the rest of the film is pretty much this guy's quest for revenge. I went into this film completely blind. I didn't even look up the trailer or what kind of horror film this was going to be. I just started it and I ended up really enjoying it. I was into it from the opening shot. This first shot of the car driving at night with the snow falling and the music playing, and I was immediately interested. And throughout the whole film, it just kept twisting and turning, and I was on the edge of my seat pretty much the entire time. I Saw the Devil has this very specific look and feel to it that you would expect from an Asian horror film, and I mean this in the best way possible. I loved the way this film was done, the cinematography, the soundtrack, it all fit together and created the atmosphere that was necessary for this kind of story. I do have to warn you that this film is very violent. I know you probably expect that already, but I just thought I would put that out there. And it's not violent in the way that there's a lot of violence going on. It's violent in the way that it doesn't really cut away too much. There are a few moments where the camera does cut away, but for the most part, you can see exactly what's going on. So if that's something you're sensitive to, just be aware of that. There was even a moment at the beginning when the first murder happened that I thought for a second, is this going to be borderline torture porn? But it's not. In my opinion, the violence fits the tone of the movie perfectly and the type of story that it's telling perfectly, and it is a horror film, so some of it is to be expected, but I just thought I would warn you that this is not for the faint of heart. I also have to say that this film does a very good job balancing that violence with the more emotional side of the story, and I did not expect to have such a strong emotional response to the ending of the film, which, without giving anything away, it's just not something that happens to me often when I watch horror movies, so that was a pleasant surprise. As far as the themes go, revenge is obviously a big one since this is a revenge film, and a really good one at that, but it also touches on guilt and the motivations and the selfishness that comes with it, and that whole concept of whether or not in order to catch a monster, one must become a monster himself, which I find very interesting. I did think there were a couple of things that kept this film from being fantastic. I thought it was great, but it definitely had the potential to be a favorite for me, and I'm trying to be as vague as possible about these because they do have to do with specific things, but here's what I had a bit of an issue with. First of all, there were some things that had to do with the plot that were just a little bit convenient and easy, and I was a little confused on how some of these people survived. I can't really get more specific than that, but there were some things that I was a little bit iffy about. And the second thing has to do with a couple of disposable, really passive victims, and that's something that may not bother me as much in an average horror film, but when everything else in this film is really good, something like a victim being really passive and just going along with what a stranger tells her really stands out. The last thing that I wanted to mention isn't really a gripe. I'm kind of on the fence about this one because there is quite a bit of collateral damage that happens along this revenge path that the main character is on, and while on one hand my gut reaction to that is this really necessary? On the other hand, it really demonstrates the selfishness of that character, so in a way it is necessary, and it makes the main character kind of an anti-hero because he's not extremely likable because of the way that he goes about his revenge. Anyways, I could be here talking about I Saw the Devil for a really long time because I found this movie to be very interesting, and because I really liked it, I'm going to be giving it 4 out of 5 stars. I think if this sounds like something that would be interesting to you, you should absolutely check it out. And it is definitely one of the best horror films I have seen in a long time. So definitely check it out if you're into the horror genre. That's it for my review of I Saw the Devil. If you guys have seen this movie, let's talk about it in the comments below. I would love to know what you think of this movie, and also please leave me some recommendations for more Asian horror films and thrillers, because that's all I want to watch right now after this movie. I do know about the Vengeance trilogy, and I've seen The Host, and then there are the original Ring and Grudge movies, but I would like more than that. Please keep them coming. So if you think you know of some movies that I would like based on this one, please leave them down in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope you're having an awesome day, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye!